trying to get a sample of the usual house noise day in and day out. I don't know why I'm even bothering, but you know, to have this continual mechanical sound coming into your house year after year, like literally you get 1 day break from it a week if you're lucky. You know, every single day. Is it possible that you could have any sort of construction going on where the sound of that construction comes into your house every single day? And is that acceptable? It certainly would be very nerve-wracking, you know, and that's exactly what it does. It turns you into a nervous wreck. And don't forget that I've been sensitised to sound, so even though that most of these sounds are sometimes extremely loud, in reality I'm sound sensitised, because if you have jackhammers going, you know, week after week, month after month in your ears, every sound sounds louder and is more emphasised to you. You become a nervous wreck to sound, and that's exactly what this sound program that is really spiritual warfare against human being is actually all about. And it's a sight and sound show. And, you know, even the banging, if you put something in your ears, then they up the banging to where you can still hear it, which shows that it's unreasonably loud. But it shows these things, but I can't physically show them. I just have to endure them and experience them. And at some point you reach your breaking point, which is the idea. In fact, you come close to it quite a lot. You know, depending on your sort of circumstances and what you're used to in life, I think that's something that is true too, that most people have reasonable expectations of what they think is acceptable for living conditions in a city, say. But if you are conditioned to accept unreasonable conditions, and you're sort of in that set-up environment where, like the Stockholm syndrome, where you start to not be able to differentiate what is really bad from what is, you know, good, sort of thing. That's the whole thing, is you get confused about these things. You become confused about the difference between, like the Stockholm syndrome is where you get confused about the difference between love and hate, sort of thing, or what is a good thing and what is a bad thing, what is a benefit to you, what is really for you or that which is really controlling you. You become conditioned to think that controlled love or controlling versions of love is normal, when it's really just a version of control, which means that the androids are operating that you are dealing with a different being, or you're dealing with the psychopathic type of, being in a human body. It sounds very impressive to talk technical and say, oh, this is a being inside a human body. But it's the only way you can explain that one's not human or is doesn't feel for life in any way, has no real inner life in them, because they don't relate to life, they don't feel for life. Everything is all just things. And everything is dead to a psychopath. This is what I've been told, and essentially that's how they see everything. Everything is dead, and anything that's alive has to be controlled and made dead. And this is what they do to you. They try to make you dead while you're still breathing. That's probably the worst form of death, really, I would think. That's how it actually feels. And that, of course, is another thing too. They want to bring you to the point to where you don't want to live, to where you don't value your life, because you can't live it. So and they're doing it, and you can't do anything about it because they outnumber you in vast amounts. They make up the whole society. They control everything, everywhere you go, every place you go, everything you need and want is controlled by them. Well, if that isn't a control matrix, I don't know what is.